Good evening, all. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Friday, and here we are, another fun Friday night. As always, it's our special guest Earworm. Try and do one every month, as the new people. There's quite a few new people in the chat, so we try and do a special guest Earworm every month. And this month we have the honour of having Jake Thompson joining us. So welcome, Jake, and thank you very much for coming and joining us.
I'll give you the full experience. Howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all.
And as always, thank you, Mark, and thank you, Brian, for coming and joining us as well. So, as we all know, Jake is a master of the resin world, and he's going into new ventures. So, hopefully, Jake's going to tell us all about his new ventures, what he's got planned, what he's got coming up, this, that, and the other. So, if you've got any resin questions, I'm sure Jake won't mind answering, as long as it's not about sanding. He don't want to answer any questions about sanding.
No. Watch the video, man.
So, other than that, I will start. I'll show you what I've got on the lathe. Like I said, the airworms are not about me. I'm just in the background doing a bit of turning. So something simple and basic tonight. It's all about Jake letting us know what he's got going on, and you guys asking Jake some questions and going from there. So I'll just quickly show you what I have on the lathe. I have a piece of timber or a blank that I've made. It's laminated oak. Actually, it's got on the head's top. So as you can see here, it's laminated oak, 3 different sections of oak, and this actually came from like a land beam that was part of a construction. And then what I've done into that, I've cut it and I've inlaid some mahogany. I don't know if it's mahogany or a Ruco or whatever you call it. It's brown wood.
Okay.
So there's a thin strip down there. I think that's about 5 mil, the strip there. And then that one's a bit, obviously, what's that one? It's about 25 mil, so about 1 inch. So just a plain basic bowl, nothing high tech. And I'm sure we'll be able to get a nice finish on that. So while I get ready and start that, I will get one of the guys to go through the chat and welcome everybody in.
That'll be me, apparently. I think I got mugged for, volunteered for that. Did I say mugged out loud, did I?
Inner voice, out voice.
Outside voice.
So I'm just going to read out the participants list, guys. And if your name's on it, that means you've contributed something to the chat. If your name's not on it, maybe you should think about contributing to the chat.
Yeah. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
So we have Andy Best, Mr. Barry Che, Barry's Wood Creations, David Birch from Texas Woodworks,
Hey.
Door 60, Douglas Murgham, Jake Thompson's in. Surprise, surprise. There it goes again. James Crawford, Jennifer from Jennifer Craft Creations is in. Our good friend JP Woodworks. Hi, Jamie.
Jamie.
Jamie's the strawberry, by the way.
Hold on. For Jamie.
There we go. Did you know that his nickname's Strawberry, by the way? But never mind.
I know now.
You do. Keith Gold is in. Keddy's Shed. Chris Gershwind. Lawrence Begier. Martin from Missouri, USA. I thought his name was Martin Missouri there. Who else have we got? Michael McEwen. Norman Grenwell. Good friend Peter Cochran. Rex B. There's a new name for me, Shane Hurst. I haven't heard that name before.
There's a few over here from the Saturday show.
Okay. TC Woodwork, Terry Bartlett, Trevor P. Hobby Woodturner, Wayne the Woodturner, Wood Wizardry by Colin, Woodturnings by Barry, and last but not least is Woodworm Paul. And that's everybody from the participants list. If I've missed your name out, just give us a shout and we'll read your name out.
I've also got Mark's Woodshed, Paul Houghton and Grisby Turner, Michael McEwen, Danny Boyd.
Trish Schwind is all the way from Guam. Trish Schwind. She has a G in there. She has a G in her name that's not doing anything. Not doing anything. But she's awesome.
It's just idle.
It's just hanging out.
Well, welcome all anyway. Welcome everybody, and I hope you enjoy. So go on in, Jake. Tell us what you got coming up, mate. What you got going on.
So every Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. We have me and Jamie Page put on a show called Saturday Morning Cartoons. It's basically a place to go, and we make things out of resin and wood, and it's basically we come up with the idea because we're all not 20 here, so and I don't know how it is over there, but Saturday mornings was the time that you and your siblings laid on the living room floor and watched cartoons, and there was no fighting and no fussing and no bothering, and that's what we want to create for people. And I think we're headed in the right direction.
Sure.
Definitely.
There's a question here for you, Jake.
Okay.
From Douglas Mugham. He says, Jake, I've seen some really deep table pours. How do they not get cracks, please?
So the deep table pours, I have stuff that'll go to 2 inches, and if you go deeper than that, you just need to do multiple pours. So you need to have the right epoxy that will do it, and make sure you don't go over what it says it will do. And then there's other things you can keep the room cooler than what you normally would, and keep track of the temperature of it. And I haven't done very many tables. I just know if you let it get hot, it's going to. That thing is, just don't pour thicker than what it's recommended to pour. Okay.
Baz is in. Hi, Baz.
Hi, Baz.
Good evening,
And
Baz.
Returning's in as well.
Quickly
Andy.
before we hang on, I've got to come back on camera. Camera. Quickly before 2 things. I'm looking for the camera. I'm looking for that one. 2 things. First thing is go over and check Baz's latest video. He did an awesome sign, so go and check that out. Second thing, Jennifer from Jennifer Creations, Krafts Creations, whatever you want to call it, is actually making or printing mugs. If you want a logo mug printing, contact Jennifer. I'm sure she'll be able to help you out. And let's try and keep the things going between the smaller crafts. So yeah, she's put one on Facebook the other day, and with her own logo on it. It looked really nice. She messaged me today, and I said I'd shout it out. I'm definitely going to be ordering some from her. So if you guys want some mugs for your own logo or somebody else, then contact Jennifer. I'm sure she'll oblige. Right, I'll get back on with what I'm doing now.
Good plan.
Jamie's in there trying to steal my ladies, man. You better watch it, Jamie. I'm gonna go back to England one day. Watch out.
Yeah, Wayne has just ordered a mug from Jennifer. And Wayne.
Nice.
I spoke to Jennifer. I'm going to get some as well. Once I've got a new logo, I'm going to make a new logo, I think. That'll be interesting.
Should we go to?
I don't know how many people in the chat actually know Jake. That you'll know of Jake anyway. I'm sure you've all seen him.
There's a pretty good looking chat room, man. It's pretty nice. And then Jamie.
Yeah, well, Jamie's always there. Like,
there's a link for Barry's latest video. Real simple things. There's a link for Jennifer's Graphic Creations Facebook group.
There you go.
Cool.
Let's try and keep the crafts within amongst the people who can help us.
Yeah, and amongst ourselves, basically. Instead of going to Vistaprint for a set of mugs, get them from Jennifer.
Douglas Mongum is in there, and he wants to know if we do multiple pours, will we get witness lines? There's a certain time that you can pour it if your resin is still sticky, like you can fingerprint it, or maybe even it's a little more sticky than that. That's the time to pour it, and you won't get witness lines. And if you miss it, then you just need to wait till it gets all the way cured and then sand it and then do another pour so you can try not to get witness lines. But if you pour it at the right time, you won't get witness lines. Douglas, I hope that answers your question.
Oops, don't do that, Steve.
Yeah, Matt's answered that as well a bit there. He says there are instructions on what times you can pour on top of the previous pour
Yeah.
to make sure you get it with the right line. So obviously the manufacturers have produced a list as well. So that'll be handy.
I try to make whatever I'm gonna do the right thickness for one pour.
Yeah,
So I don't have to worry about it.
That's a
normally
cunning
what I
plan.
do. That's normally what I do is just try not to put myself in that position.
Ooh, bit of tear out. Might try and go the other way. A push cut.
It's actually quite disturbing when you're doing this on Skype because you can see the other earworm.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta remember you're in view all the time. Mark's certainly gesticulating again, guys, just so you know.
You're number one.
Yeah. So what time is the show on tomorrow? The Saturday morning cartoons, Jake?
It's at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time.
Central.
About 4
Good,
o'clock
same
over here.
time.
About 4
Same
o'clock
time.
UK
Yeah,
time.
we pick the time that way. I know it's not morning in the UK, but it's morning everywhere in the United States at that point in time. So that's why we picked that time.
Okay. 4 o'clock in the afternoon is good on a Saturday here too, because there's never much on the TV, only sport of some description. So
Yeah,
it'll be worth watching.
There's plenty of people from over there to watch, and it's pretty cool.
Clark Lerner's got a question. Has anyone had a resin that seems to set in the bottle, standing off water to reliquify it?
Like if it's cold in your shop or the resin gets cold, then it's going to get thicker. And then the way people combat that is put it in warm water, put the whole jug in warm water. And if you want to accelerate things a little bit, then you start off with warmer resin and it'll cure faster that way, or you'll get to that point faster. But my advice is keep the resin in a controlled environment if you can. Like put it in that. Keep the resin bottles in the house if you can. If you're going to be, so they'll be at a good temperature.
Yeah. Don't let them freeze overnight in your shed.
Right.
Bring them in somewhere. Yeah.
Jamie is expressing his disappointment that you haven't done a Hank Hill impression yet.
God dang it, Bobby! I'll do an impression when I want to do an impression. There you go.
Are you happy
You're
now,
happy,
JP?
Jamie.
That'll keep him happy for 2 minutes. He'll think of something else in a minute.
He'll find something.
Yeah.
Wayne's also disappointed that you haven't said mint yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give that to him right away. I'll surprise him with it.
It's almost like you're a performing monkey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dance, monkey, dance.
I'm a puppet and a monkey at the same time.
Dear. Right, let's get it sanded.
What's funny is I'm wearing Wayne's mint shirt right now too. I wore your shirt, Wayne, and you're still gonna get me.
No gratitude.
Nah. If they didn't give me a hard time, I think they're mad at me.
Yeah, it's true. They're going to sand this up to 240 grit, and then we'll get the Yorkshire grit out on it.
Tell me, Brian, have you assembled your sanding station yet?
Yes. And it's properly assembled, unlike yours, which is kind of upside down.
It's properly assembled.
Oh dear.
How very dare you.
Yeah, it's a bit like the tool station you made. Too lazy to make the whole thing, only made half of it.
You only need to make half of it.
So what's this Yorkshire grit stuff you're talking about, Steve?
Oh, you don't know. Seriously, Jake? You know what Yorkshire grit is?
Got him. Got him.
That's right.
Don't start. I'm in enough trouble with
Jennifer's
this, as it is.
asking, how long have you been working with resin, Jake?
Oh, that's probably 3 or 4 years now. The best timeline thing you can look at is my YouTube channel. Pretty much.
Watch the
Yeah, I have.
videos.
Well, I know I have to go back and look, like I just don't keep track of it. So if I want to, when did I start doing that? I'll go back and scroll through my YouTube and look at it. I can tell you the date that I started
Yeah.
because it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Terry from DJ Turning's in.
All right, Terry.
Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Dale Slaughter's in as well. Didn't we mention Dale?
No, by Dale.
Hi, Dale.
Hey, Dale.
He says, Jake, you causing trouble again.
I don't know why I wouldn't be.
Martin Missouri from USA. He says, first time here. Who are the gents sharing the running commentary? Well, you got Steve from skkrafts, whose show it is. You got Brian from Woodturning, and you got myself, Mark, the gentleman woodturner, and our special guest is Jake Thompson.
Howdy, from USA.
From Missouri.
Missouri. Cool.
John Scarborough's in. Good evening, John.
Evening, John.
Hey there.
Did I hear you say that Woodworm Paul was in?
Yes.
He is.
Paul, did you get my email, mate?
Joe Senior's in now.
Oh,
Good evening, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Who's that guy? I got him again. What's up, Senior?
JP's got a question.
Question for you there. And we have Anita Ball, who I think that's East TN, is that Tennessee?
Tennessee. She's
J-
one of Jamie's. That's one of Jamie's girls too.
JP's question must be a bad one because nobody's reading it out.
Let me see.
Wait for Jake to read it.
It said Jake did a series of superheroes in resin from the Hulk to Deadpool right up to Wolverine sitting on the throne. Does he plan to do any more? I don't plan on it right now, but if one comes up and I have time to do it and it's going to be fun, I'll do it. Those were a lot of fun to do, though.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the Deadpool one.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, especially with the collab that Al did with me. Oh my goodness, he made me step it up for sure.
Rex B's asking, he's in Florida. How many types and brands of resin do you use? And is any one better than another for handling the heat and humidity?
There's I use a lot of Alumilite products. I'm an affiliate with them. I use Liquid Diamonds. Liquid Diamonds is a good beginner resin. If you're here in the States, I don't know if you guys can get over there, but it's I always say get a resin and read the directions, do the best you can, and then learn what it likes and what it doesn't like. Like the Alumilite Clear Slow that I use for most of my stuff does not like moisture at all. It doesn't like air. You have to have a pressure pot. There's all kinds of things that go along with it, but there's other ones that are more beginner friendly. But it's all I use what I use. I'm one of those guys that goes to the restaurant and I like what I ordered. It was good, so the next time I go, I just get the same thing.
Yep.
So that's the same thing with this. I use the Alumilite.
Yorkshire gets in. Okay.
And so it's one of those deals. Get familiar with what you're doing, and then just practice with the whatever you choose to use.
Yeah. Get used to the one thing first instead of chopping and changing. That's what I do.
Yeah, I did a comparison with Alumilite, Total Boat, Liquid Diamonds, and there was a deep pour from Total Boat. They're all totally different. They're all, and I'm not going to say one's better than the other or whatever like that. Also, I am partial to Alumilite. I'm just going to use the things that I like to use.
Yep.
So, but they all act different. With that being said, if you go to Total Boat's Instagram, you're going to find all kinds of cool things that people do with it. Same thing with Lumilite. Same thing with the liquid diamonds, all that stuff. People use the things that they're familiar with, and they get to learn how to be awesome at it. So, it's not fair to sit here and say that one is better than the other. It's up to you to use what you have.
Steve.
Yeah.
Woodworm Paul says yes. He did get your email.
Oh, that's all right.
He's had a bereavement.
No,
Sadly, his mother passed away yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So he's going to be in touch with you Monday if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
We'll
fine.
send our best wishes to Paul.
Do indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sorry for your loss, my friend.
Sorry.
No, I wasn't pushing. I was just I was sending it off a mobile phone. I didn't know whether he got it or not. All right.
Condolences, my friend.
And I think the thing, like you were just saying about trying different resins, Jake, is that people will buy a resin, they can't get on with it, then I think that's a resin, not what they're doing. So they'll then jump on another resin, do exactly the same, and then realise it was.
I did a not to be, what do y'all call it, cheeky? Not to be cheeky, but I did a video on like 10 tips on resin casting, and the first one was read the directions.
Yes.
As simple as that sounds or whatever, but it's true. It's going to tell you whether, if it's by weight, you need to divvy it out A and B by weight or volume. If you need to use a pressure pot, how long your working time is, how long your cure time is, a demold time. There's a bunch of things. They're all simple, but if you don't pay attention to each one's different characteristics, then you're gonna mess up.
Exactly.
So John Scarborough's asking, Jake, what's your thoughts on pressure pot versus vacuum chamber?
I use a vacuum chamber to degas silicone, and I use the pressure pots for resin. I get asked this all the time, and it
seems to be the favorite question.
And it's so if you have it's hard to explain, but I have pressure pots, and they squeeze the bubbles immediately. So for me, if it'll fit in a pot, it's better for me to just put it in a pressure pot because I have them. Yep. Now, if you have a vacuum chamber, and when you degas your resin in there, it's gonna make it hotter faster. Like, it's gonna mess with your pot life.
Okay.
Because people dry wood in a vacuum chamber because it boils the moisture out of it. And there's been videos out there that people show the difference, and it messes up your pot life when you do that. That being said, if you have an epoxy with an extremely long pot life, then there's nothing wrong with putting it in there. Of course, you need to put it in a bigger container because it's going to bubble like crazy. So you don't overflow your container that you're using. But for me, I mean, there's people that do it. So I'm not going to say you can't do it, but my preference is a pressure pot. It's immediate. I use faster. I use resin with a real fast pot life, and so it just makes sense for me. I mean, I wouldn't even have time to degas it in a vacuum chamber. So It's just another one of those things. Work with what you got, but you're going to need a resin or epoxy with a longer working time to even use a vacuum chamber, and it's going to mess with your pot life too. So I hope that you can do it. And I get asked this a lot, but I guess the cheeky answer, I'm going to say cheeky a lot. That's the word of the day. I have pressure pots. So I have no reason to use a vacuum chamber for resin.
I don't do resin at all, but it seems to me that if you're going to cast resin, it's easier to cast it and use a pressure pot.
Yeah.
Than it is to use a vacuum chamber, which, like you say, you can use, but why would you? It's so much easier to do it in a pressure pot.
And I think it's a region thing too. It's where you live. Like the most of the people that ask about the vacuum chambers are from overseas, and that is your channel. So from where you're at, I'm from overseas now, but so it's just it's like a culture thing that they're used to. Pressure pots are new, or vacuum chambers they were the first thing used, so everybody has that in their mind to use, and then the pressure pots come along. So most of the people that ask me are from the UK. And it's just one of those, and my answer is I have pressure pots and they are easier. So like whenever you go to degas resin, you're gonna have to pour the amount, you're gonna have to mix it up, put it in the pot, get all the bubbles out of it, and then pour it where you're gonna pour it, and then sit there, and it's still gonna have bubbles in it. You're gonna have to pop them with a torch or spray the alcohol over it, or however you're gonna do it. And I pour resin. I mix my resin. I wait for it to get to the temperature where the colors won't mix. I pour it in there and I put it in the pot, and then I make another project.
Then you walk away and leave it. Yeah.
I don't think about it.
Happy days.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 hours later, with the clear slow, 2 hours later, I go over there and I get it out of the pressure pot and demold it. It's done.
Joe Senior's asking, what got you into resin?
Heath Knuckles videos. There was a bunch of things going. I was doing woodworking and I was some CNC work and stuff like that, and started hanging out with Jamie, and then he introduced me to Heath, and he had that video with the sphere come out, and I was like, man, that's amazing. I want to do that with the Hulk. So I did it, and I paid enough attention to everybody's videos that talk about moisture and all of that stuff, and so I wasn't doing stabilizing or anything at the time, so I went ahead and I bought stabilized pin blanks off of eBay. So I had no idea what it was all about, and I had made the Hulk project, and it turned out okay. And now I look back and go, man, I was so lucky. It was a huge pour. I mean, it was huge, and I didn't heat anything up like I was supposed to. There's a bunch of things. It turned out pretty well, but that's what got me into it. Was Heath Knuckles his projects were awesome, and I'm fascinated with the video making too. So if you look at Heath's videos, they are fantastic. I'm a fan. I am a fan. So I was like, I don't want to be like Heath, but I wanted to do the stuff that Heath was doing.
Yeah.
And so one more question from Anita Ball.
Mm-hmm.
What scale do you recommend for weighing your resin on?
I have this one's off of it needs to go down to the 10th of the gram if you're using I use the 10th of the gram. There's like even Illumilite has one on their website that goes to the it goes to the 10th gram. You want to go to the hundredth of the gram, right? So there's one, I'll send you a link, Anita, but there's some on Amazon. Just make sure they go like 2 digits on the gram side, on the 10th side, and you're going to be all right. Mess me up.
Steve, you've had a super chat from JP.
Oh, really? Thank you, JP.
Asking, Steve, what's your StarBond promo code? Smiley face.
It's in the description, mate.
And
good answer.
JP said, if only Jake gave this sort of information in his videos, maybe you wouldn't get trolled. Why do you say that, JP? We were just talking about that before we went live.
I can't even not get trolled on somebody else's videos.
Right, that's
all right, Jamie.
Right, sand and seal.
Colin's asking, do you have to have a pressure pot for things like pen blanks?
If you have say like liquid diamonds, I use liquid diamonds on the show sometimes just to show people you don't have to weigh it, you don't have to put it in a pressure pot. I don't think the colors come out as well. I don't think they swirl as well, but it can be done. So I'm not going to say that it's absolutely necessary because you can make cool stuff with liquid diamonds. I also just ordered some Illuminate clear cast to try to do the same things I do with liquid diamonds. I'm going to try to go ahead and show people that you don't have to have all this equipment to make pin blanks.
Glenn says it's like a Yorkshire Grid sponsored meetup. It kind of is.
Yeah, everybody's here.
We're all here.
Just about, anyway.
Jake wants to know what Yorkshire grit is, Glenn. Can you explain to him?
Yeah. Somebody explain that to me.
Right. I'm going to do this with a ridge lamb microphone. Seems it's hardwood.
Brian better say
People ask me what's Yorkshire grit. I'm like, I don't know, but it makes me look good.
Helps the sanding process. You can watch that in Jake's video.
Yeah. Don't do that. I use it in that video. I promise you.
Don't think you got away with that, Steve, because 3 people have just asked, did you drop that bottle?
Yeah, I did drop that bottle. Yeah, and I landed upside down, so I've now got sand and seed all on the floor.
No. Makes the floor nice and shiny, Steve. You're okay.
Sorry, it's underneath the unit, so I can't see it.
No, I'll be fine then. Till you move the workshop round again.
Oh, not
Talking
this year.
about workshops, I wonder has everybody in the chat seen Jake's workshop?
I don't.
Or should I
Here
say
comes the
Jake's?
jokes.
Or should I say Jake's warehouse?
Here comes the jokes, man. I'll just beat everybody to it. I haven't seen my whole workshop.
I was waiting for Jamie to put that in.
He has jokes, I promise you.
So, Jake, can you show us some of your pen blanks you make? Not pen blanks,
Yeah.
pen molds. Sorry.
Your pen molds?
I just made these. I just have these. I have some made, and they'll fit inside the Harbor Freight pressure pot. So the 2.5 gallon pot. So there's that. Let me see. It says Jake blanks on the front because you have to do that, right? And they're extra deep, and they have a fill line. So you fill it up to this line. You just pour up to that line, and then you demold it, and you can go right over to the table saw. You can go right to the lathe with it. But I did it so that I could go to the table saw and just skim the top of it off, and you'll be able to see what's in there. And then there's a block mold. Same thing. It'll fit inside of a Harbor Freight pot. And then, let me get rid of this. The 5 gallon pots that I use, I have these ones here that'll fit. There's 10 blanks will fit in that. Of course, they've got crazy colors, and they have the Jake blanks on the front. And then block mold. And I can get 14 blanks out of this one mold. Of course, they have a fill line, so and then I have trays with handles on it to carry these. And whenever you carry them over to the pressure pot, you're not spilling things everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's the idea of having them extra deep. And so here are some of the things. We make these pretty much weekly.
Nice.
On there, and we give them away at the end of every show. Give one hybrid blank and then two just regular resin blanks away at the end of every show. So tons of these kinds of things, different, and the crowd picks the colors and things like that. Here's a couple of bottle stopper blanks that I just started making. So they're pretty cool. I might even make one and do a video this week on doing a bottle stopper.
Nice and vibrant colors.
They're pretty. Yeah, thank you. They're pretty cool. The Okinawa blue from Eye Candy, and then black. Teal is a super popular color on the channel. So And then this is another thing, just some things that we've made on the show. I did this out of scraps.
That's nice.
I don't know how well you can see. We got some aluminum honeycomb in there,
Oh, look at
and
that.
I'm gonna do a giveaway with Worldwide Burl. That's where I get all the wood from. I'm gonna do a giveaway with them, a collaboration giveaway on Instagram sometime soon, and somebody will be able to win this. And I'm pretty proud of that. Like, it was the first scrap thing we made, and it's super. I don't know if I can do any better. So
Brilliant.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
we had. We also made I made a pine cone bowl for my mom, and I did that with stabilized ones, and I stabilized pine cones, and then I made this one with non-stabilized, and you could totally tell the difference. But the crowd picked the colors, and we call it a clown bowl because it's super bright, and this wood on the bottom, I don't know how well that's going to show up, but it is, and it's fantastic.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
It's nice.
Super cool. And then the super chat, what we do is people super chat, so we decided to reward them by doing a giveaway every other week. We're going to do it every other week now. We make things like this, and it just has some scrap wood in. I say scrap, it's stabilized wood that I cut up. So I'll get the pieces I want, and then all the cut-offs I'll put in these, and they end up being super cool. The last 2 turning videos I did was with these turning blanks. And then I got 2 more things to show. Here's one of the hands that we make. This one has poker chips in it.
They're quite cool. I like them.
And playing cards, and pretty neat. And I don't know why I like making the hands so much, but I do. So I make them.
They make you laugh, don't they?
Yeah, they're cool, man. So another thing is, before COVID hit, my channel was growing pretty fast. So I was like, man, I'm gonna make something for a 50,000 subscriber giveaway. Obviously, I'm not there yet. I have this piece of burl, and I made it to where it's round and it has a dovetail on it, so I can put it right in a chuck. So what I did was I made a silicone mold of this, and then I made one of these.
Jeez.
So this is just clear. Let me get right in the camera. So this is clear, and you can actually see the wood grain in here.
Yeah.
The silicone picks up that much detail. And as you can see, there's a dovetail on it. So after I cast it, I can go right to the lathe.
That's cool.
That is very
And
cool.
then,
Yes, indeed, yeah.
so then what you do is you add color, and this one I added way too much black. And then I figured out if you just kind of sprinkle some mica powder in the mold, it'll look speckly on here like natural wood, like the natural wood does. But as you can see, it's pretty cool. I had one that looked pretty much like wood. I sent it to Alumilite just for because I did it out of deep pour stuff that they sent me. So I sent it back to them. Anytime they send me anything, I give it away. So what I plan on doing with this is making a project, and I still plan on go back. I think that's about all I have to show. So I want to do a project out of this, and I'll probably end up doing it on the live show, and it's going to end up being something along the lines of that.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool.
There would be something in there. So,
Yeah.
But COVID, obviously, before COVID hit, the channel was growing pretty fast, and then COVID said, "No, you better wait, kid. Better settle down."
Slow down, boy.
So
kinda,
when you cast a resin mold of your burr, you can use it over and over again. Yeah.
Much as you want.
Cool. Nice pieces, mate. Very nice pieces.
Yeah, they are indeed.
Thank you.
Excellent.
We have tons of fun. We have a couple of hand molds that one of them is just a number 1 like this, and then one of them is another number 1 that I can't show on your. I'm not going to show on the channel.
I think we guess. I think we guess.
Yeah, we definitely the projects on the Saturday show. The projects is definitely secondary to having fun. We just want to hang out and
Yeah,
and
definitely.
have a good time. We just end up making things that end up being cool afterwards.
Douglas has asked, Jake, is there anything you would not cast in resin?
Anything that holds moisture that's going to mess up the resin. Like if there's wood that's is not dry, or let's say for instance maybe gummy bears or something. I don't know. I'm just saying anything that has moisture in it, and that whenever you cast it, the moisture is going to mess up your cast. Then I would refrain from doing that. Anything else is pretty much fair game. Or if you're just doing a river table, you can pretty much just coat anything and then put it in there and then cast it. So like even the wood you're going to use, you can coat it with the same resin you're going to pour and wait for it to get that sticky like I was talking about before. Wait till it to get sticky, or you can fingerprint it and then do your cast, and it'll be sealed, and all the moisture or air will be trapped in, and it won't go out into your epoxy.
I tried doing boiled sweets in resin, and it was fine until I tried to sand it. Then it went all let's say gooey.
Yeah.
The heat
Glenn,
got it.
Steve Glynn said, thanks for not showing the gritting, Steve. Joe didn't sing.
That's all right, not a problem. The check's in the post, Glenn.
Yeah.
He has the inside to do yet.
Like I say, we've still got the inside to do, so I'm just putting friction polish over this just to give it a bit of a shine.
It is shiny.
So you can build up the coats, many coats as you like. But I'm just going to give it a couple. There you go. That'll do. Nice. Right, so that's the inside.
Super
That's the
nice.
outside, Steve. That'll be the outside, Steve.
Yeah, that'll be the outside done. Well done. See, I know you're here for a reason, Brian.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's a shallow bowl.
See, it's finished. Look,
Oh,
there it is.
It's a diet bowl.
He's known for that, Jake.
That'll still hold more
Doing
than
the
Mark.
inside and the outside at once.
That'll still
Yeah.
hold more than what that bowl Mark Turn hold.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with this bowl.
Right, let's get the inside turned out.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just got a hole in it.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
Douglas.
That's some beautiful stuff you have there, Jake, I have to say.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This is all experimental stuff. I tell people, like, that's the message of the channel is, I can do it, you can do it. I try to simplify everything as much as I can so that just anybody get interested in it can have the confidence that they can do it too.
Yeah. Sounds like the message is just have a go, guys. Have a go.
Yeah. Don't be scared. That's what they say in the chat all the time. Don't be scared.
You don't know unless you try.
Yeah. And you have every project you do, I'm sure you guys do the same way. Every project you do, you can find something wrong with it.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
But the people that are looking, or you're showing it to or whatever, they don't know. They don't notice the little things that we do while we make it. So
that's
don't be so hard.
100%.
Don't be so hard on yourself, I guess is the point. Just
That's 100% true. Most people, when they look at their own work, are really brutal.
JB said, lol, if Jake
appreciate
can do it, you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Jamie. Chris says,
I'm gonna go
and he still
eat
gets
fish.
trolls.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to England and eat some fish and chips with Jamie, and then I'm gonna slap him.
Yeah, slap him first and then eat his fish and chips would be better.
No, we're gonna have a good meal first, and I'm gonna slap the crap out of him.
He probably needs it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Princess,
Jamie's right. He said
myself
Jamie
and him,
says, Go ahead.
turning the inside of it and the outside of a bowl at the same time at Yorkshire Grid.
Yeah, there's
HQ.
another thing.
Weeks ago.
Another thing we say in the show is, you know what happens if I mess up? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. We're still gonna eat. We're still gonna eat lunch. It's all good.
I always think if you don't make mistakes, you don't learn.
Yeah, yeah. I make a lot of them. This hand, the hand that I just showed you, I put the cards next to the outside of the mold, and I can feel the cards. So the next ones I make sure that there's poker chips in between the mold and the cards. You know, so there's definitely, this came out pretty cool, but there was definitely lessons to be learned in it.
All right, sharpen up. You'd be a bit hard in the middle there.
See how shiny levels are now, mate. Shiny, shiny. Yes.
Give yourself a shiny.
Diamond shiny.
Well, that's not a euphemism. Good Wizardry by Colin said that your pen blanks were stunning. Jake.
Thank you. Thank you. It's the chat. I prepare the wood and get everything ready, and the chat picks the colors, man. It's their fault that they're okay.
Yeah, they're to blame. Whichever
they're
way
to
it goes.
blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their fault. Yeah. Yeah, they do a good job. We have the chat. A lot of them are in your chat. And they're pretty involved, and it's a pretty cool thing to be a part of.
We have a lot of the same people appearing in lots of shows and channels, which is good. Community is growing.
New people every day in the every week in the chat. We have new people, and everybody that's in the chat welcomes them and encourages them and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
It's a great environment to be in.
Speaking
Ruby
of which,
Ruby Claire's just joined us.
Oh, Ruby.
She's back in Canada now.
Good evening, Ruby.
Good evening, Ruby.
Welcome home.
Good evening, eh?
Woodward Learner says that he needs a label. He wants me to send him a label that says stir, stir, and stir again when using resin.
Yeah, when you think you're done, when you think you're finished,
Stir
just
some more.
keep stirring. Yeah.
Thank you. Some of us had the pleasure of meeting Ruby when she was here this month.
Here we go again.
Just shamelessly name drop that one in there. And she actually said,
I'm leaving now. It's okay. I'm just leaving. It's okay.
She actually said, hey, once. And I just fell about laughing. Did you not get to meet Ruby then, Brian? I didn't get the chance to. Oh. Terry and I did.
That's because you told me 2 days before she was coming that she was coming. Well, I might have made the effort. Steve's actually quite good at this, isn't he?
Don't get too excited.
I'm just getting on with it in the background.
I wish you'd do something with that witch in the background, though.
My witch?
Yeah.
Can you see it
Close
better?
her mouth or something.
No, if I put a mouth on, she'll want to talk.
Oh.
Ooh.
Right. Let's just clean
Proper
up.
frightening thing is she looks like my ex-wife.
Oh, thanks for that, Mark.
See, CJ's hobby suggests it's JP and Carol's fault for bringing us all together with a virtual crafting festival.
Yeah, they're troublemakers for sure. Hey, that Carl's a troublemaker.
Yeah, he's a well-known troublemaker, I found.
I like troublemakers, man. They're all right.
There's troublemakers, and then there's JP.
Yeah.
He's the king of troublemakers.
Can't believe Brian just missed his mouth then with that drink.
I just spilt my. Steve made a comment. Almost spilt my beer there.
Eyes in, sneaks wall out.
Hi, Clive.
Oh, Sneaks, man. What's up, Sneaks?
Just clean this up with a negative rate scraper. I don't normally do this, but that's very hard in the bottom there. Just a little bit there. Just got a little divot in the middle there.
Yeah, JB suggests it's Carol's okay. It's Robin that's the problem.
Hey, Robin. Had to get that in there.
Benjamin has a weird train of thought, guys, because he's now thinking, I wonder what shape that witch's head is if he took its hat off.
I do worry about that, boy.
Are you only starting to worry?
Yeah, I am lately. I was
Martin
actually
Zuri is asking, is there a way to use resin around a bowl as a finish?
Yes, you just it's kind of like the tumblers that people make. They're coated with resin, so you either make yourself a rotisserie that goes slower. If your lathe will go that slow, and you just put some on there and let it turn and clean up the drips that come off, and you're in there.
Lionel's just joined us. Good evening, Lionel.
Give me a line.
Hey there.
All right, that'll do. Just clean the edge up. Oh, that'll do me.
Oh.
Right, I'm going to sand that with a drill.
You're going to sand it with a drill.
I'm going to sand it with a drill. Oh, no, I
Good.
don't.
Oh,
No.
oh no.
Gonna drill it with a sander?
Yep. Some extraction on.
Funny you should say that, because somebody not too far away actually sanded right through the bottom of a bowl.
Did they?
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I think I got a couple of minutes of sanding in the bottom of that.
Let me guess here.
Seriously.
You're welcome, Martin.
Friends, hey?
You're welcome, Mark. It's all right. That's what I would suggest as well, Ruby. Ruby says if you want to put a plastic coating on a bowl, Rustin's plastic coat is the thing.
Yeah,
Lots of treat.
it does. And I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Man, hang
At
on.
the sink.
Right, it's taken almost an hour and we finally had the golden question. I knew it was going to happen at some point. Jake, is Alumilite or liquid diamonds food safe? Oh my God.
Here we go.
Have at it, Matt. Have at it.
Fully cured resin is food safe.
And how long does it take to be fully cured?
Whatever the directions say on the epoxy that you have.
That's a very
That's the
diplomatic
right
question or
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
The sink got flashed in and out very quickly there, I have to say.
Oh, I'll bring it back.
I don't know if anybody's actually seen the damn sink.
So this is
There's that
Rustin's.
sink.
This is Rustin's Plasticoat. Ouch. Don't do that because that's sharp on that edge.
Don't
This
rest
is
around on the edge of that.
oh no, this is Rustin's plastic coat. Look at that shine.
That is pretty.
It is indeed.
I just
That's Rusting's plastic coat is a 2-part epoxy.
yes,
Basically, is what it is.
yes. That had one wet coat to soak into the wood, and then 9 additional non-thin coats to that, and then sanded and polished up to the final finish.
Woodwork Learner's asking, how did you make the blank? Steve, you missed the beginning.
Right, this is a piece of laminated oak lamb beam, which I picked up off a job. Well, it was an off cut actually. We cut it off; it was too long. Which I cut in sections, and I'll stop it and show you. So,
Jet edge, sharp.
yeah, watch that edge sharp. So as you can see, it's 3 pieces of wood, piece there, piece there, piece there. It's a what we call in the UK a lamb beam, so it's just like laminated wood all together. And then what I did is I cut it into sections, and I put a piece that's 1 inch wide there, and then there's a 5mm bead through there. I don't know if I can't remember if it's walnut or mahogany, but it's one of the two. Which I put in there, glued up.
It's just for Ben's
Mahogany.
sake, just say it's
Oh,
walnut.
walnut. Okay.
Mahogany.
Mahogany, yeah. But there is a little bit of a gap there, but I'm not going to. I'll fill that in afterwards. Looks like where the chop saw made a little bit too wide a cut on it. But
Operator error.
yeah, it was most probably. I made this about 2 years ago. This so.
So Ruby Claire said she made a sink like that, and putting the hole through the bottom was the hardest part of the job.
Yeah, I must admit, I found it quite difficult. You think you're deep enough, and you keep more and more and more and more. Right. So I'm going to sand this up to 240, and then we'll sand and seal it.
And we'll get Joe to sing in the background.
Yeah, we'll get Joe to sing. You're welcome, Glyn. Can't get my sandpaper out.
Refresh that page.
So do you not turn wood at all, Jake, or you just turn resin, or what?
I've turned I turned a walnut bowl, and I think I have some other pieces that I got from Worldwide Burl.
Right.
That are just going to be wood pieces. So I'm not against it. I just people want to see. They want to see resin. They want to see resin out of me, not just wood.
Yeah,
But
well, your channel is really about resin, isn't it?
I did, but saying that, the walnut bowl was well received. It ended up turning out pretty well, and I actually sent it back to Worldwide Burl so he could have it.
Right.
It was fun. It's I kind of find it easier to do.
Yeah.
Just the wood.
Yeah, with resin you have to be a little bit tippy toe sometimes, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No. Ruby suggests that the highlight of her trip, remembering that she did a tour of England and was over in France and then was over in Austria, the highlight of her trip was meeting Mark, Terry, and Pete.
Thank you very much.
She found herself in the land of the giants. That's what happened there.
All I can say, Ruby, is you're very easily pleased.
Like Terry was the happiest. He actually found somebody that was shorter than him.
Yes.
Right, so that's up to 240.
Jennifer, something to leave? Or the granddaughter has just arrived, so she's off.
See you later, Jennifer. Thanks for coming over.
Bye, Jennifer.
Keep
Later.
off the Baileys. Right.
Controversial, Steve.
Right.
Benjamin says it must have been a pretty boring trip then, Ruby.
Mhm.
Alright. So give us a good coat. She's pretty. I like that. It's got like a ring in the bottom there. Look. We just put a lamb beam up in this new building we're now doing, but that's only pine. That's not an oak one. Cheapskates.
What? I've
Right.
just been assaulted by a dog. What do you want? All right, calm down.
Right. So sand and seal it. Get the favourite out. Yorkshire grit.
My little dog's a bit stressed because his mum's not here. She's working tonight, so.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And I've been ignoring her, so she's not very best. She's not best pleased.
Right. So original. Oops.
Right, go.
Who's gonna sing the song?
Brian is.
That's Mark's job.
Oh, I'll do the quick one.
Good idea.
That's what Kim says.
Hands up a bit, you can be. Shut up. Hands up a bit, you can be soft. Touch your face with light brown Yorkshire gritty. Yeah.
Shazam.
Oh, that's not the one I heard.
No, that's the short version.
Oh. Mine was like, I always use Yorkshire gritty or my projects turn out bad.
Jamie.
Hashtag Jamie's idea.
Yeah. Jamie.
No dust. Perfect. Shame Yorkshire grit don't go from 80 grit up to 1,000, doesn't
That'd be nice.
Mike Bell says he's just down for lunch and to find fabulous folks are unalive.
it?
Thanks for letting me join in, folks. Back to the fried chicken, he says.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, Mike.
Enjoy, Mike. I really fancy a bit of fried chicken now.
Right, speed this up a little bit. Just finish it off. You don't need it, Brian.
I know I don't need it, but I just fancy it.
Ring Michelle, get her to bring you one home.
Yeah, that'll be right. That's going to happen. This would entail Michelle actually carrying the device called a mobile phone.
Oh, okay.
Michelle's idea of the mobile phone is it doesn't have to be plugged into the wall, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there.
Sometimes it's even switched on.
Very occasionally, but it does be on. More often than not, it's run flat because she hasn't used it.
Hobby Turner's in.
Good evening.
Good evening, Hobby Turner.
So that's the original. So let's go with the microfine.
I should have brought my party squeaker too. Ruben Clare suggests she must be related to my husband. He obviously does the same thing with the said mobile.
Some people just don't worry about them, do they? I have to because of work, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't if I could get away with it.
I have since I sort of retired from the horsemanship thing as well. I just do that occasionally now. The mobile phone has just become a means of taking photographs, mostly.
Yeah, I must admit, I use mine more
That's
for
all
social
I've ever
media.
used. Yeah, taking photographs or posting on Facebook.
I was really strange today. I had to actually use my mobile phone to make a phone call.
To talk to somebody.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's strange.
I hate doing that. They can never hear me.
So Douglas Bungham was asking, Jake, do you ever wet sand?
I sure do. I'll use the Abernet sandpaper to 400 or 600 or whatever I have, and some people wet sand with that. So I'll get up to 600, and then I'll go from 600 to 1,000 wet sanding. But I use stabilized wood also, so you have to keep that in mind. And if you don't have stabilized wood, you're going to get moisture in your wood. So keep that in mind. If you don't want it to swell or move or anything like that, then I wouldn't wet sand it. But stabilized wood is okay to wet sand.
Well, it's basically
Hope
like
that
a block.
answers.
That's like a block of resin anyway, isn't it? Really, once it's stabilised.
Yeah, it's I think it's super cool. I think it even changes how it looks and everything.
I've just bought a vacuum chamber, and I'm now trying to get into stabilising wood, but I just got to get the. I haven't got the cactus juice yet because I've just got to remortgage the house to get it.
Yeah.
So JP has put in a video, put in a little link there for Douglas. He says, here's Jake's sanding video. It's foolproof.
There you go. It's
And the link's there for you.
Somebody tried to troll me on that one, and they said, you don't have to worry about you under explaining anything on this video. So if you don't explain everything, you're in trouble. If you explain everything to a T, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, yeah.
No win situation.
Discovered on YouTube that it's just no winning.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is please yourself and hope to please a few others.
Yeah.
Because there will always be somebody who has an overly negative viewpoint.
Well, and there's tons of different ways to do everything. And our saying we do in our chat is there's 1,000 ways to punch a donkey. So I put that video out on how to sand, but other people are going to have a different way to do it.
Yep.
And they'll go and tell you, why don't you just do it this way? Well, go ahead and make your video, and then I'll see if I like your video.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. But in the meantime, figure out how to put a profile picture up before you tell me how to YouTube. Just hashtag just saying.
It's right though. It is true. Totally right. The people who always criticise you, like you say, they've got no videos up. They got maybe 1 or 2 subscribers, but they'll slate you as hard as they can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I normally just say thanks for watching.
Well, I've been doing this for almost 6 years, and that's kind of gotten boring. So
now you're starting to get a bit reactive now.
Yeah, it's one of the. What you really, if you have a channel and you're trying to do this, human nature says that if you have 100 good comments and 1 bad comment, your human nature and all of us is going to look at that 1 bad comment.
Yep.
And so I've kind of learned to change my way of thinking and go, well, I have 100 good ones. I can mess with this one.
Yep.
I can mess with this guy. If he leaves, I don't care. Like, it's not that big a deal because you have 100 other people that enjoy what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the way to look at it.
There you go.
Look on the positive.
Mark Lerner says, the people who complain the most on my videos are his earworms. It's true.
Gee, I know that feeling.
Yeah, my wingman gets me all the time.
Mike Dawes asking you, Steve, is the valve for your vacuum chamber in the lid or on the side?
What, the release valve? The release valve is on the lid, the perspex lid for the vacuum chamber, not in the side.
Jamie likes messing with my trolls. If I have one I really want to handle, I just send him a link and a screenshot and say, "There you go, buddy. Handle it."
Hand it over to the page.
You have.
Yeah.
You have.
He will get them. The first one, I won't say the last word or whatever, but the first one, the guy's like, and we've all heard it. If I had all those tools, I'd be able to do that too, right? So Jamie got on there and said, if you had all those tools, you'd still be an a-hole.
Tim from CF Dunnington. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Hey,
Hi, Tim.
All right, so that's our 3 coats of what do you call it? Friction polish.
I'm not convinced I like that friction polish.
It's not as shiny as I think that's out of date, to be honest. It's been sat on the shelf for 2.5 years, so I think I might be on. I've seen better days. I don't get a shine. I don't get a shine like it used to. Let's put it that way. Used to be able to get a real shine on it easily, but I'm struggling with that. I think the bottle's out of date. I've got another bottle in the cupboard. I might get rid of that and get the new bottle out. But I might just put a bit of wax on the middle of that because it's not as shiny as I like it.
Ben Jones suggests he only asks questions in Wayne's lives to slow him down a bit. I don't ask them in Steve's to speed him up a bit.
Thanks,
That's
Ben.
unkind. That's why you don't ask questions in mine either, then, Ben.
All right, so a little bit of Hampshire sheen, high gloss.
Yeah, Martin has said, I have the tools, but can't do that. It takes a lot of practice, skill, and a lot of work.
I wouldn't say skill. I think I'm a great believer that anybody can do anything if they try hard enough.
That's it.
Well,
that's where the practice comes. To become skillful, you need to practice.
Yep, true.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you
look at
practice
Steve.
something wrong,
He's-
it will be
he's a
wrong
prime
forever.
example.
you'll just be faster at being wrong.
Yep. Only perfect practice makes perfect. Practice makes permanent.
It's about hours of learning tool control. That's what a lot of it is about. Don't matter what it is, whether it be a circular saw, hand saw, a chisel, a gouge, whatever. Need to learn how to use that tool properly.
Popsicle stick.
Yeah, popsicle stick, party blower.
Yeah, hold on. Hey,
Here we go.
still got it. I still got it.
Woodward Leonard suggests if you had all my tools, it would run out of space.
Ivy
Yeah,
Woodshed's
plus-
just joined.
I wouldn't be too
Andrew?
happy. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. How you doing? That's been
I actually haven't got that many tools, I'm afraid. It's just a malicious rumour.
It's an expensive
I've got
hobby.
lots of tools.
Buying
Yeah, you
tools.
never actually show the corner of your workshop where they're all stacked, though, do you?
I
To be
do.
fair. No,
I
you
do.
don't.
Yes,
Not
I
the
do. It's at
secret
the end of my
corner.
lathe.
That's a secret corner.
Secret.
There's a secret corner in my workshop.
corner. Even Brian don't know about it. That's that secret.
I better go and have a look.
Right, so let's get this off. Right, I think we're there. Bring overhead.
Ruby Claire agrees. She says, I always say there's nothing you can't do. Only things you haven't learned how to do.
Exactly. I totally agree
It's
with that.
absolutely true.
Totally agree with that.
Beautiful.
There we go. Nice little. I'd like that ring in the bottom there. I know it weren't meant to be, but that's there.
Not just the last ring of your glue up.
Yeah, there. That's part of the last. That's
Nice,
the
yeah.
first. That's the first one. That's the second one. That's the last one of the land beam. Looks good. I like it. I like it.
Turned out well,
Very
Steve. Yeah.
pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty.
Right, let's bring you guys back.
There's no hole in the bottom either.
No, I didn't do a Mark Beckett and sand through the bottom.
Ask for that, Beckett.
All right, I think actually you're the reigning champion of the funnel man at the moment. Don't you
give it
agree,
time.
Brian?
Has he done 2 this year? Has he?
He's done more than 2.
Get stuffed.
Ooh,
Not 1.
He's done Toilet
one-
Live.
was that 1 funnel and then 1 sanding funnel? Is that what we're talking about here?
Well,
Is that 2?
what's the difference between a funnel and a sanding funnel? They're still funnels.
Well, one goes from the inside to the out, and the other one goes from the outside to the in.
There you go. Look, there it is. There's the evidence.
Oh no.
I don't know about that with glass though, because that was when I cut the nub off. I pulled the fibres out.
Oh, excuses.
Could
Don't
find
know.
that one.
Don't know. Anyway, I think we're
It's
there.
got a proper hole in it.
Mike Doyle has suggested there. He says, I don't make videos, but have been stabilizing for about 8 years, very successfully, to include dyeing wood.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, I'd be happy to help you out.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, like I said, I just bought a cheap vacuum chamber. So I just need to get the cactus juice. And I must admit, I was quite surprised how expensive it is over in the UK. I don't know what sort of price it is over in the States, but over in the UK, it's about, obviously a US gallon is 3.5 litres. Is that about right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
a US,
3.5
or you call it a quart? Do you call it a quart or whatever you call it?
No.
No. Anyway, a US
Well,
gallon
yeah.
over here is 115 quid delivered to the door. So
Wow.
and obviously I don't know how much you use. How much roughly when you're stabilizing, Jake? What sort of percentage do you use? Obviously, I know the size of the bits of wood makes a difference, but
Whenever we built the resin room and I started stabilizing again, I bought 4 gallons. And I've done I don't have the measurements or whatever exactly, but I just now had to order more cactus juice. So that's been since June, and I've done a pretty good amount of wood.
all right, so quite a lot. Is it because it's got a shelf life date as well, hasn't it?
So when you get it, it has a catalyst with it too, a little container that has a catalyst. So if you don't mix that together, it has a shelf life of years. As soon as you put the catalyst in there and mix it up, then I think you have about a year, and you need to have it used up by then.
Okay.
Can you show Baz the bowl again, please?
Yeah.
You had to shoot off.
Camera. Overhead. There you go, Baz. Nothing too fancy, just a basic shape. Mortise in the bottom. See what size it ended up showing.
I know you might have turned that mortise off, made it look like something.
No, 7 inches across by just under 2.5 inches deep.
If Martin's watching, he'll just be sitting there
Shaking his head.
Yeah.
Could have done a 10.
Could have done a 10 and took it off.
Yeah, that's only a show. That's only a demo piece, isn't it? It's not a nice
No.
piece. Can't please some people, can you? Can't please some people.
Jamie suggests a UK pint is bigger than a US pint. That's why we can drink more than them.
That's got to be fighting talk, isn't it?
That's almost fighting talk, yeah.
And I can't argue with his math. He's just going to make up worse math to argue with me with.
Right then. So, has anybody got any more questions for Jake before we shoot off?
And don't ask for a workshop tour.
Oh, no.
You're not getting one.
I'm not prepared. I have one on my channel.
Going to say you do workshop updates quite a bit anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm quiet.
Very quiet. Dead air.
Terry's asked. All right, Terry said.
Terry said.
No, that's
Should have
all right.
blocked
Yeah. That's it.
We've already done that, Dave.
Keep up, Terry.
Yeah.
Or
Wake
Steve,
up, Terry.
Or Steve even.
Goodness
Keep
sake.
up, Steve even.
thanks.
Terry's put nice job, Stephen, with all the heckling. I I shut off Terry half the time. I'm turning, but I'm listening, but I'm not really absorbing the information. So.
All right. So all that hard work,
What hard work?
that's heckling you.
Oh, that. Oh no, I just ignore you anyway, Mark.
Woodwork Learners
Wood-
asks, when's your next video out, Jake?
Next video is going to be tomorrow. Will be the next live, and then when I put out an edited video, they'll be out on Wednesdays most of the time. This last week, I put out a video on a super quiet air compressor that'll fill the pots, and so that's like for people that do resin casting in their homes or in in a spare bedroom or whatever. It's quiet enough to do that, or if you have neighbors close by, I did kind of a unboxing and review of it. It's pretty cool, and I'm not sure if I'll get one out this week or not, but if I do, it'll be out Wednesday.
Cool beans.
Excellent.
So, Jake, if people want to buy stuff from you, where do they go?
Northside Custom Crafts website. I'm gonna everything will be. I'm gonna announce the opening tomorrow on my
Okay.
on Saturday morning cartoons.
There
So
you go.
Northside Custom Crafts. They'll be right now. It's just gonna be silicone molds on there, and then as I get used to doing it, I'll put more stuff on there, and then I'll just direct everybody there instead of just. I don't have a website.
So, if JP can put your link in for your tomorrow's live, that would. Oh, you don't have you?
I
You-
I don't
I'm doing
have
his
it.
website.
All right. Okay. So, if you can put in.
Tomorrow's live. Sorry, tomorrow's live's not. As soon as we get done here, I'm gonna go make the live. So
Oh, right.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Well, there's no link
fine.
for it yet.
That's fine. So, obviously,
sorry.
make sure you go and check out Jake tomorrow with his sidekick JP. Baz says, "Did I do a CA finish?" No, Baz. On the outside and the insides, I use chestnut friction polish. But to be honest, I think the polish has gone out of date because it's been on the shelf a couple of years now. It normally comes up a lot shinier than that, but it's on the inside. I finished off with a piece of Hampshire Sheen high gloss wax. So obviously, as always, the more the shinier you want it, the more layers you build up of your high gloss wax to give you the nicer shine. So yeah, being a hardwood, it usually shines up pretty well anyway. Are you right, Mark? Struggling?
Trying to put a link in, it won't let me.
The wood dude has just arrived.
Ah, good evening, Wood Dude. How the devil are you, sir?
Says hello and goodbye. I'm a tad late.
Yeah. So, have you got any questions for Jake before we go? Chuck him in the chat now if you want to know anything about resin. I know Jake's perhaps fed up of answering questions, but
Nah, that's all good. It's what I do.
JP,
Yeah.
but I only came here to
Thanks,
see
JP.
Brian.
This is true, JP. I know that. Yes, okay, mate.
There we go. I
There
just do
you
it
go.
a roundabout way.
Well done, Mark. Congratulations. Thanks for that, mate. Yeah, so don't forget. So it's 4 o'clock UK time, and it's 10 o'clock your time, Jake.
10 o'clock Central
Yeah.
U.S. time. 10 o'clock in the morning, and happy to see you. If everybody wants to show up, get in the chat, participate, have
Yep.
fun,
Definitely.
drink some coffee, all that kind of stuff.
Chill out.
We're all about it. Everybody's welcome.
Well, it'll
Let's-
have to be coffee because it's afternoon. Oh, well.
I got coffee right now.
Yeah, I know.
Right, I think we'll go then. Right, so no more questions. Again, thank you so much, Jake, for coming on and joining us. I really enjoyed you being on, and thanks for showing all your stuff, mate. And I really do hope your new venture takes off and your wishes go where you want them to go, mate. I really do.
I appreciate it. I had fun. Thank you, guys.
No, you're more than welcome. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to Brian. Thank you, gentlemen, as always. So next Friday we have. It is next Friday, isn't it? Yeah, next Friday we have the Christmas special of Battle of the Makers. Don't cry, Brian.
No comment. Absolutely no comment.
So the contestants we have 2 teams: the Dorset Knobs and the Hampshire Hogs. Obviously, the names, perhaps the team names, perhaps. Anyway, the team 1 for the Dorset Knobs is Colwyn Way and Craig Steele, and then the Hampshire Hogs we have Martin Sabin Smith and Les Vaughan. So we will be here as normal time, 7:45. Brian's not going to come in the chat because he's going to sulk. So
Going to be in the half. I'm going to be in the half.
He feels aggrieved that we've used him all year and just cast him
dumped.
aside.
even though he's only a
Aside,
stand-in,
Yeah.
like a used piece of tissue thrown in the bin. It's fine. It's okay.
So anyway, we've got those coming in. Wayne the Woodturner sent me some questions for the chat. I mean, not the chat, sorry, the contestants. I'm hoping that Brian, Joe, and Huey are going to do the same. Because that'd be good if we can get some questions from the old contestants for the new contestants.
No, I'm not doing it.
Sour grapes comes to mind.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's next Friday. But I will be back Sunday. Me and Nick will be back Sunday afternoon. I didn't put the link up for it yet. I'll do that tonight. Don't ain't got a clue what I'm doing, but I'll find something to do. But other than that, thank you everybody for coming and joining us. I've really enjoyed tonight, even though I've been quiet in the corner. And I really appreciate you 3 guys for coming in and joining me too. Really do appreciate it. All right, with that, we'll knock it on the head, shall we?
Cool.
Right.
Thanks, Jake.
Hey, thank you guys.
Hang around a little bit, Jake, and we'll have a chat at the end, mate.
Alrighty.
Right, and guys, so I'll see you Sunday. Have a great weekend. Take care. Speak to you soon. And bye for now. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
He had to, didn't he?